everybody doing? If you are Prince Andrew, you must be breathing a sigh of relief. You have finally signed off and settled that public relations potentially criminal disaster known as for the Virginia Giuffre case for an alleged $14 million settlement. Now, the funny thing is, when I read that, my little gossip sense was tingling because I said, that's funny. Something that we never thought would happen, which is Camilla would get the Queen's blessing. And she'd say, it is my fondest desire that Camilla be named Queen. Yes, that's my British accent. Just please allow me to have some fun, right? It's early in the morning. And a week later, Andrew settles his case. But it's more than settling his case. Andrew gave the money to settle his case. So if you guys don't know, you know what? Let's get into the let's go on a deep dive with me, shall we? But I find it interesting, like I always do, that out of all the people that they talk about being sued, Meghan and Harry, being investigated, Meghan, being a public embarrassment to the throne, Meghan and Harry, the Queen's son just settled a case that looks to me like it was admission of guilt. Prince Charles is about to be investigated for his shady dealings with his charity, right? The only people getting investigated are the people that are running the show. Taxpayers' funds are being used allegedly for the settlement. You guys, let's get into this scandal and let's go at it. Y'all ready for this? All right. First, let's talk about the quid pro quo, right? Someone on Twitter asked a very important question that said, who paid for this settlement, right? This is actually coming from a celeb bitch. If you guys don't follow them, they have great royal coverage, right? Saying Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre have reached a breaking settlement. Virginia Giuffre and Prince Andrew have reached an out-of-court settlement. The parties will file a stipulated dismissal upon Miss Giuffre's receipt of settlement, the sum of which is not being disclosed. That is true. People are speculating it's at least $14 million, right? Prince Andrew, intends to make a substantial donation to Miss Giuffre's charity in support of victims' rights. Prince Andrew has never intended to malign Miss Giuffre's character. That is a lie, because we remember when they literally tried to say she was 17 and wanted it in so many words. That's what I took from it. And accepts that she has suffered both as an established victim of abuse and as a result of unfair public attacks made by Kensington Palace and your people. You're acting like these things just fell out of the air. The only people attacking her, maligning her, calling her a liar, at least on a larger platform, I saw was coming out of the palace. But this is the way the palace works. We saw what they did to Meghan and Harry. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch the other videos. But let's get back into the statement. Here's where it gets weird, and it does get into British royal recollections may vary, weird play on words. Because I remember Virginia said that she would not accept a settlement unless there was some form of admission of guilt on Andrew. They're trying to say there is no admission of guilt. It says, it is known that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless young girls over many years. Prince Andrew was allegedly by his side while all this was happening, right? Prince Andrew regrets his association with the Epi and commands the bravery of Miss Giuffre and other survivors in standing up for themselves and others. He pledges to demonstrate his regret for his association with Epi by supporting the fight against the evils of trafficking and supporting its victims. You guys, let's talk about the quid pro quo. A lot of people, even Sir Ken Stronger on Twitter, are speculating, hearing from my sources, that Prince Charles threatened veto for this settlement unless he got confirmation that Camilla would be Queen. Now, what's the veto? It was brought up about a month ago that the Queen was paying for her son Andrew's defense. This brought a lot of shame and embarrassment, as it should have. Why are you defending your son against the unspeakable using taxpayer money? Now, I know some people say, well, the Queen used her own money. Every penny the Queen has is from either pillaged and stolen jewels, or it's from the actual taxpayer money that she invested secretly, tax-free, right? Because of the Parliament rules, and she was able to get. So even if it wasn't directly, it came from, okay? Charles rightly stepped in and said, Mom, What are you doing? This is a bad look. We cannot defend or pay for this, especially if he's found guilty. And I know on my end, I looked at it as him coming out guilty, right? After Charles, it seems like, put pressure on the Queen made an announcement that she would no longer be covering any of Andrew's legal expenses. Now, a lot of people said, well, how's he going to pay for everything? Because even there was a house in Switzerland that he was behind on that the Queen allegedly paid $6 million out of her pocket. We do know that Andrew is her favorite child. Everyone said, well, that's a wrap. He's going to jail if there's any criminal liability, because guess what? He doesn't have any money of his own. He literally lives off of his mommy's pocket, but that's not uncommon with the British royal family. It has been speculated that they keep the lesser royals on a tight purse string to control them so they fall in line and support the monarchy. This is one of the reasons they were so mad that Harry and Meghan broke free and got financial independence. Once you get financial independence, what do you need everybody else for? You're not going to be like an Andrew or an Edward begging and scraping and trying to get things and trying to stay in royal favor so you can life fitting of a royal. Okay, so now that if you realize it was unprecedented last week, the Queen made an announcement that guess what? Camilla shall be queen. Okay, great. Camilla will be queen. Very odd mood, considering as much as they hate Harry and Meghan, Camilla, you can say actually her and Charles are responsible for all the trouble that's come to the monarchy with their affair and how they treated Diana. Because of that, the monarchy has spent 25 years rebuilding. I do believe this is one of the reasons, my opinion, why the Queen has never given the throne to Charles, why he was in his 40s or 50s, as punishment that he will be king for as little time as possible. Now, in my opinion, nothing but damage to monarchy, because honestly, even though Queen Elizabeth is very beloved, the country has not had time to fall in love with Charles or with William. They do not look at Charles as the heir apparent. They look at it as the Queen's son. I get it that she ruled, and maybe, I don't know, right? But whenever there comes time to give power to the next generation, you must give it at a time where the power can actually be convalesce and it can be made stronger. If the Queen gives it up next year, right? She says she wants to die on the throne. If she does pass away next year on the throne, what do you have? You have a new monarch that the country either doesn't like or isn't familiar with. It's a very odd mood. And for all the things about protect the Queen and preserve the monarchy, and that is her dying wish, actually giving up the throne maybe 20 years earlier would have been a better call. 20 years older, before, everybody hated Charles. However, they could have moved swiftly and actively. Once that public relations storm was over, she could have given him the throne. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, let's look at the timeline. You do something unprecedented, something you vowed you'd never do, make Camilla queen consort. Now, and say it is my desire that she actually reign as queen. Next up, Andrew mysteriously gets $14 million in settlement money. Andrew, who is broke. Andrew, who, one of the reasons he even got into trouble, besides his proclivities for epi activities, is because he had no money and he literally sold the crown to whoever would fund him and Fergie's exorbitant lifestyle. And she also goes to speculate, and I quote, again, look at the timeline. This was, to my mind, an explicit quid pro quo between Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth, and Prince Andrew in exchange for Charles, who is basically regent in everything but name, signing off on the monarch's funds to be used for Andrew's settlement. Charles elicited the Queen's public blessing on Camilla. The only thing is that getting Andrew's mess to go away was always in Charles's best interest. 2, he just dug in his heels because he wanted the Queen to sign off on the Camilla thing. And so Bitchy goes on to say, I'm assuming the Queen raided the Duchy of Lancaster funds to pay for Virginia's settlement, but it doesn't like any of the royal reporters are going there. Listen, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a quote troll? Do you agree with the fact that something is fishy? Do you think that this just highlights how the monarchy are elitist, are racist, are classist? They say, do as I say, not as I do. Listen, this is the most trashy thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, the way they've covered up for this man and closed ranks. Apparently, the only thing you need to do is make sure you don't marry an American divorcee black woman, and everything else is up for grabs. Even vacations, known vacations with Secret Service agents on Epi Island. All right, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. How do you feel about this? Do you think justice was served? I don't. Let's see. Let's keep an eye on moving forward how Andrew is treated and whether Andrew is going to be accepted back into the royal fold, because you never know. Maybe the queen actually bargained for that for her favorite son, because we've known for a while she wants Andrew back in the royal fold. All right, my little Tattle Tells. Talk to you later. Bye.